Welcome to Day Trading Attention. I'm Kip Russell, an influencer with 1 million followers. I'm also head of social, and I help some of the biggest brands in the world, influencers in the world in the space, just navigate social media, set their strategies, ads. I manage over 30 million in ad spend for people. So I'm just sharing with you guys, I've been doing this since the MySpace days, things that I'm paying attention to that are important, helping the influencers I work with grow, helping myself grow, helping the brands grow. And I've been doing this for a long time. I'm still shocked at how little people know about social media. People still avoid it because of what it is in the space. But I want to talk about, we've got about 7 or 8 stories I want to cover. I'm just trying to cover the landscape, big things that are happening, tactics that are happening, strategies you should be implementing, trends, innovations to platforms that you should be paying attention to. And the one thing I've been seeing just a ton of still on social media, I follow a lot of different influencers and people in the space, is that it's still interesting to me that businesses, brands don't understand how much work it takes, and that it takes a team to run a social media account. So I think if you're a small business, the most important hire you can have in the social media space is probably a video creator nowadays. I'm seeing businesses change overnight. Small businesses that are posting 1 to 2 reels a day or reels and TikToks, vertical videos a day, doing an interesting way of telling their story through experimentation. They find something that works. And if you understand how the vertical video works with the For You page and discovery engine, content is essentially going out to people in more than people you follow, an algorithm, and if they get good watch time, that thing just accelerates and can grow forever. Social is much more like SEO nowadays, where it used to be you post and it would disappear within 48 hours. There's still an aspect of social that does that, but vertical video is now very evergreen. It's much more like YouTube and search, where you post, things can grow your account per day. So I have a video on my Instagram's got about 16 million views. It consistently grows my channel for the past 3 or 4 months since I posted that video. So you need to be thinking about the vertical videos much more like YouTube and SEO. Social is going to start looking more like that, as it's based on interest and trying to find people more interested in your content. So this is the best time literally ever to post. If you could post 1 to 2 posts a day at a minimum, you could grow, change your business overnight. A thought leader like Alex Hormozi, when he first got into the space, he did, I think he mentioned something like a 2-year deal with the YouTube creator that he partnered with, because he knew it was a long-term play. You need to be thinking about this as a long-term play that can grow your business and snowball overnight. So I would say the most important hire you could probably do is a video strategist, a video creator who can make content, come in your office, create 1 to 2 videos a day and post for you. Secondly, maybe paid social media ad specialists. And again, build the team, build the right people out that you need to deliver your business needs. You might need leads, so you're gonna start off with ads, and then you're gonna wanna build a long-term strategy, so you need a video strategist, right? So then you maybe need a total social media manager. So it's hard to get somebody who's really good at wearing every hat. Good at making video, also good at running ads, very tough. Those are typically 2 different skill sets. And I've worn a lot of hats. I've done the creative, I've made the ads, I shot the videos, I wrote the scripts, I wrote the post. And definitely you need to segment that if you can. If you don't have the budget, I would start with like a video creator is probably the most important temporary hire, and then maybe a paid ads person. But really just this is the most, like, social media overthrows governments. It's changing the world. It changes businesses. It can change yours. You just have to put the effort in. And this is literally the best time ever to do it. Start with vertical video creators, and then maybe figure out your ad strategy. But there's a lot more that goes into it. You want ads to work, you gotta have a good business model. Really, social media ads just reflect your business. So if you're driving people to a crappy website, they can't get in touch with you. It's not the ads, it's probably your website, right? You gotta understand the problems and do more due diligence into figuring out what's wrong with the business, what's wrong with the leads, what's wrong with the forums, not just the ads every time. So you just see a lot of that, and I just want to get that out, and I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking on that space. There's another thing. So I work with a lot of influencers who have millions of followers. They post a lot of content. Myself, I have 1 million followers. How much can you post a day on social media? So I kind of mentioned it before. If you understand the landscape, let's say you have 1 million followers like me. When you post something, vertical video, reels, or TikTok or YouTube shorts, part of that's gonna go to your following, and based on how well your following reacts to it, do they watch the whole thing? Do they engage with it? It's gonna go into the For You page, which is basically like an interest. It's like thinking about it as an audition. And if it does well in the initial wave of viewers in the For You page, or in the discovery engine, as Instagram and Facebook call it, or in YouTube and search, if it gets good watch time and good engagement, they're gonna keep serving it, and so on and so forth. If you have a good SEO title, on YouTube, you can show up in search and do other aspects that really works. But once that happens, you're essentially getting you're going to new audiences. So you can actually see these metrics in your channel. You can go to like in your insights in TikTok, in Instagram, you can see, am I getting more new, like non-followers watching my content, or am I getting more followers? Typically when you get a lot of non-followers, that means your content resonating, it's going and building a new audience, getting new eyeballs on the brand. I say that to say you can post, I've had clients post 20 times a day, believe it or not. As long as the content is offering something of value, right, has a utility to your business, you can post on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, 10, 20 times a day, as much as you can, as long as it's providing value and it's good quality. You don't want to post a lot of junk, and that takes like understanding the data, that takes a strategy, looking at the data. But these channels now can absorb way more content than they used to. I think when things were based on your friends graph or your followers graph, you could, again, burn them out, get people leaving because they're seeing your content so much. Now, let's say you post a video, 50% is going to your followers, 50% is going to new users. Every post can essentially build your business. So I would recommend on Instagram, probably 1 to 5 if you can do it. On Facebook, you could probably handle 5 to 10 if you have the machine built to actually post content. My company, Spinning Tech, can help do that. Other businesses are focused on that, but that's really, I would say the sweet spot's definitely 1 a day on all channels. But really these channels can absorb way more than they used to. And again, think of social as more SEO than posting to your followers now. It's more about like posting things that are going to be found by people that are wanting more content on what you're creating within your niche, your expertise, your space, etc. So for me, the more I post content about how to grow your social media accounts, the more I'll attract people long-term about people trying to learn that skill set or are interested in seeing that content. I want to talk about Threads. It's been, a couple months now since it's been in market. It was like the greatest launch of any product in history, I would say, in social media. It got 150 million downloads in its first year. It was the top app in the App Store, I think all of Q3. But I think right now it's one of the biggest dropped balls by any platform. I'm actually shocked how little Zuck's mentioned it in a few interviews he's done lately. It does feel like a graveyard. I think that the usage is down to like 10 or 15% of the people that signed up for the platform are actually using it. I do see a lot of the thought leaders in my space, the Gary V's of the world, the Cody Sanchez's, they're posting there, they're trying to take advantage of maybe a little bit of white space, and that's what everyone should do if you're really, just keep posting there until maybe the app figures out its purpose. But I think a couple things, it hasn't really innovated much. I think they added voice notes and an editing feature. There's no ads there yet. It doesn't really have a utility or a purpose in culture. So I think that's, X or Twitter still owns the news, breaking news with all the Gaza stuff. People are going to X over any other platform. TikTok, I think, is catching up a little bit in terms of the news space. But again, Threads doesn't really have a purpose. It hasn't adapted a lot of the stuff that Twitter came with. So I'm not sure if it's on a great path yet. I'm actually just thinking this is one of the biggest dropped opportunities of all time. They're not innovating that fast. You see Elon innovating in real time, trying things in real time. Some of that working against him. I think the narrative around X is a lot more negative than it was before his reign. But I do think they're at least trying to innovate the platform to make it more interesting. I think the moves that X has done with video has been really smart. You're actually seeing, I have a few influencers in the space moving their video content to X because of YouTube and Meta and all these other places are adding more misinformation, more regulations, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but they're going to X because of free speech. They're going to Rumble. They're going to other places because they know that they're not going to get regulated to death on those platforms and kill their business model. So interesting to see. I don't know if Threads will be doing anything relevant the next year to really revive it. It needs jumper cables because I feel like the platform's basically a ghost town. I'm not sure what would revive it. It's really tough to say like what would make it interesting. Maybe the search aspect and the news and the hashtags, the trending stuff, basically replacing Threads. I know Zuckerberg has said he wants to keep it a positive platform. If you've been on X's For You page lately, probably because just the negative sentiment of the war and everything going on in Ukraine and Israel. So we'll see. Again, huge ball drop. I'm not sure if it has anything that's going to be bringing people over there other than, it's kind of like Musically when it transitioned to TikTok. At the end of the day, if you want to play there because you're just dabbling to keep the lights on and slow grow, and you'll be the first mover if something happens, you're there with a following and you're actually the one who can take advantage of that. That's the competitive advantage of being on a new app, right? So I want to talk about social media bubbles and narratives. Whether you're right, left, independent, etc., you kind of are what you eat on social media. If you're only following people on the left side because that's what you believe in, you're only following thought leaders on the right because that's what you believe in, you're going to be sort of self-serving this bubble where you're not getting views beyond your sort of algorithm. That's the big negative of social. It's really sort of you are what you eat. The more you watch something, you're going to see more of stuff like that. So what I would, I took a screenshot of this headline. I think it was on CNN. It was basically like Israel, it says it didn't bomb the hospital, that hospital bombing, but Gaza said Israel, did it. And it's basically, there's two narratives, right? Like each is playing against each other, trying to win an audience and win a sort of information narrative cycle to kind of capture people to be on their cause. Now, I'm not talking about either side's right or wrong. I'm talking about as the root of the channels and the news and the media. So I think it's really important. A couple things here that's going on in the space is that you, as a human, as a person, as a consumer of information, should be following the people or both sides. So you're getting content from both sides or people that break down, so you can understand both sides. I've seen videos where people are like, didn't even know that there was a terrorist attack on Israel, so they were just championing, they're thinking Israel's just starting a war for no reason and it's all about X, And then I've seen the other where they don't even know the root causes of the conflicts. So I think it's super important that you're following, find the thought leaders. Like if you're following the Ben Shapiro, who's the thought leader on the other side, the right side, that you should be following on the Parkman, so you can see like the different lanes, how they're messaging the different sides of this. If you're Palestinian or Israeli, you follow the narrative to understand and get the empathy for each side, so you can start making better informed decisions. So I think it's more of a general how to use social media that actually inform yourself versus just self-serving the bubble, the narrative that you want because you're angry, et cetera, et cetera. So I do know Meta and TikTok have faced a lot of scrutiny over the way they've handled this. I haven't even seen the news, I don't even see any news on Meta anymore, to be honest. And I know they're basically pushing away from that. Twitter and X are the exact opposite, right? You're seeing a lot of citizen journalism. You're not even really seeing like the CNN post or anything like that. You're basically getting it from certain thought leaders in the space. And that's really where X is going. Even with people like Tucker Carlson, those big long form shows and different opinionated shows are going there. It's trying to lean into that versus amplifying NPRs and et cetera, the worlds. So YouTube recently saying they're going to be leaning into noteworthy mainstream news. And it's kind of, I would say they're attracting advertisers and pushing against the narrative X, TikTok, and Meta right now, where they're kind of saying, well, let's kill the old model and embrace the new model. You have YouTube saying, why not? They have YouTube TV. They're the best in terms of monetization and creator platform. So maybe they're working some deals with the CNNs, the Fox, the news, NPRs, the mainstream, where as things go back to video for them on different mediums, this is a great way to attract advertisers and be the counterbalance and sort of the good guys in the space to the advertisers, the corporate media. It makes a lot of sense for YouTube. They kind of still have enough creators. Hopefully I've been seeing a couple things in the space. They really have regulated misinformation in health, and they're now doing this with news and media. Are they going to become the sort of, they're going to be amplifying that too much, and you can start to see people rebel from YouTube because they lean in too much to what people don't want to see, which is the bigger corporate media, corporate medical information. Or post-COVID, the Twitter files, we start to understand that even these organizations aren't always accurate or giving us the information that we need. They're giving us sort of self-serving or over-regulated or government-fed information. So people are looking for authentic, honest, transparent information. So it's an interesting move by YouTube. They're going to add like a little newspaper icon. And again, Meta right now, I think they shut down the news in Canada. I don't see any news on Meta properties anymore. And then again, TikTok, you are seeing that. If you start watching videos on Gaza, Israel, or different news stories, you're going to see more, right? So a lot going on in this space. I would just say make sure that you're informed. Don't just follow one side. Make sure you're following the counterbalances, the alternate voices, so you can sort of see the bigger picture, enlighten yourself, and then you can sort of understand where you fit within your broader perspective. Seeing a big trend on Instagram, it's Gary V's, all the major thought leaders in this space are doing the meme sort of the thumbnail style image with the swipe right logo, and then it goes to the viral reel. It's a great way to sort of, as the news feed and vertical comes in, you summarize a story and then you swipe into the video. Probably adds a little bit of extra view time, or if you stop, you read the first tile and then you swipe into the video and then you watch a video for 60 seconds. It's giving that watch time, that aspect of consumption more to Instagram, as people are trying to really figure out the formula for reels. As things get more competitive, as people figure out the secret that vertical video is the game, that you're seeing new ways to sort of hack the algorithm. And this is a big one. I think this is one that everyone should try. Again, meme header, swipe right, watch your video. So we're testing that with some big clients of ours that are in the influencer space, and I think you should too. A bigger space I'm seeing in this election cycle with like RFK and Vivek they're basically breaking from, they're still going on like the Fox News, the CNNs, but they're really doing the podcast tour. I mean, for the millennials and myself and younger, really this is where we consume our news. We're watching 3-hour podcasts for our own reasons. We like the deeper conversations. We like to watch these at work, on weekends when we're running, right, all the other things. So you see them going on the Nelk Boys, the Meet Kevins, the All In podcast, the Bill Maher's, the Iced Coffee Hour. I think Vivek was just on the Iced Coffee Hour. And what you're seeing is this helping explode their campaigns. I'm actually shocked a lot more haven't done this. The different candidates haven't really embraced it. Only a few. I mean, All In podcast, if you haven't seen, it's a phenomenal podcast. I think they've had Chris Christie, they had RFK, they had Vivek. They'll probably have more. I'm shocked DeSantis hasn't done this yet. I think he should have done it. He did Twitter, and X had kind of bombed, right? Because X dropped the ball in the live stream. But at the end of the day, it was the right thinking, right? Digital first, long form, get people to know you, talk expanded issues. That's what people really want. They don't want abbreviated dogfights on CNN. No one wants to see that crap anymore. Those are going, right? Ratings are nothing. You'd rather see Vivek on Hot Ones, or whoever your candidate is on the Hot Ones, or something fun like that, because you're getting to know them more, getting to hear their in-depth thoughts. You're getting to understand how they think. Are they really the right leader, right format? But really, what's interesting is the first time you've seen this really grassroots effort, and I think it's becoming almost like they're bigger platforms on these podcasts, the Rogans of the world, right? This is where you're gonna make the big splash. This is where you're gonna really introduce yourself and break out, and maybe turn people that are sort of in the middle, like myself, trying to find the right person who's got the right thinking, and really expand on the issues that are important to you. So interesting to see. It's just a bigger trend. I could see this happening more and more, just becoming really the tried and true format. So the last big story I want to talk about is Biden joins TruthSocial. I think this is ahead of obviously the presidential election. This might be the sign that he's actually going to run for sure. But it seems like his campaign has joined TruthSocial. I think their first tweet was like, "Let's see how this goes." I think it's a super interesting move. Not shocked that Trump hasn't kicked him off yet, but it's an interesting move, because I think it's about trying to go there, convert, and have a presence where you're really just, the TruthSocial is mostly just the Trump hardcore right-wingers. People like myself, I'm there just to see. I haven't used it in a long time, but I was on there for a while just to try to figure out, like, what is it? Is it going to grow? In my space, I need to know what it is. It really was like a crappier Twitter. It's pretty much Trump's like the only thing you see in the news feed, and it's very right leaning. I didn't find any valuable information there for myself, but it is a place to play. It does have, I think like 10 or 12 million users. So it's an interesting play by the Biden team. We'll see how this plays out. At the end of the day, is maybe they can get some people that maybe are there in the middle or fishing, or maybe they can get some of their messaging out. But interesting to see. And I think one of the bigger stories in the space. So we've really covered everything in day trading attention. I hope you learned. I hope I gave you enough deep information about what's going on in the space. I really appreciate it. I live and breathe this stuff, so I'm always looking for news stories, articles, different things to cover. So you can always comment, tag me in the post below, and I will make content based on that. So appreciate you guys, and go out there, win that attention war. Later.